March Creative Daily Journal. I know, doesn't look like March fabric. I couldn't help myself. I finally got a hold of the coveted Amazon mailer, the brown paper Amazon mailer. For some reason, I only get the plastic ones. And this one came the other day, and I was so excited because I've never covered one. I thought about trying it with the plastic ones, but can you hear that? This one sounds so cool. So let's just get right to it, shall we? I also found at my Dollar Tree, which, as I have said, is stepping it up, I found these cake frosters. They're like scrapers for cake frosting. They make great glue scrapers too, so I'm super happy about that. And I have my mailer. I have 2 pieces of fabric that I cut to 9 by 12. Well, I tore it 9 by 12. And 2 pieces of cotton batting that I also cut to 9 by 12. So let's just get this show on the road, shall we? Got my mailer. And I have my tacky glue standing upside down right there. I was hoping it would work, but I think it's gotten really thick. So let's go ahead and use our Fabri-Tac. And I'm going to tack this stuff down onto the mailer, but not go crazy because I am going to sew it. Now, you certainly don't have to sew it. You could do the whole thing with glue. Totally up to you. But I am going to sew just because I haven't done that in a while. So I think the batting will make it extra squishy, and it will also help cover up all the black writing, so that'll be good. Get that as centered as I can. Now, I had some cuts in the batting. Don't care. It will not show. It will be just fine. Oops, that was not very centered at all, was it? Well, let's just trim that off. Maybe it'll be easier to do it from the back side. I'm not sure. As I said, I've never done this, but we'll see, won't we? We'll find out. So let's go ahead and put the batting on this side as well. I caught my daughter getting ready to recycle this. I was like, are you insane? Are you crazy? I've been waiting for one of these forever. Ever and ever. And we'll just go ahead and get some Fabri-Tac on there. Uh-oh, we have a little bit of a Fabri-Tac bubble. It's okay, I'll just wipe it off right here. And I'm not worrying about smoothing the glue out too much on this because I don't think it'll soak through our batting. I will when we get to the fabric part. I'll smooth it out some more. Let's just wipe its little nose off. There we go. Put the lid on to keep it contained. And once again, see what we can do about getting this down relatively straight. Covering up those edges. Okay, smooth that down. Yep, once again, not perfect. Once again, I'm fine with that. I did cut it a little bit big just for that sort of thing. Oh, I always forget my Tim Holtz scissors don't do that well on batting and stuff. But that's what I've got right here, so that's what we're going to use. And just trimming that right to the edge of the envelope. The envelope is exactly as it arrived, except she opened it. 9 by 12, give or take, so it makes a great journal size. And now, dun-dun-dun, for the fabric. So we'll get out our Fabri-Tac again. And again, I cut those fabric pieces to 9 by 12. And I'm not going right up to the edge because I'm going to do a zigzag right around the edge. Again, if you don't want to sew or you want to sew by hand, that works perfectly well also. Okay, let's smooth this one out so it doesn't come through the fabric. Fabri-Tac is notorious for that. You can see I wrote glue on here, so I remember which one was for spreading glue and which one was for burnishing. Although I suspect this is going to be pretty obvious because that's leaving a mess. Look, it's all fuzzy now. All right, put that right there. I did not press my fabric. I figured my hands will do the work. Why take out the iron? No, no, no. Nobody wants to do that. Scoot that over a little bit. Pull this up. Smooth it down. Very nice. Yep. That looks awesome. Sorry if the polka dots are making you crazy. They're making my eyes go a little bit crazy. And we'll go around to the other side and do the same thing. I am going to let this dry a little bit before I take it to the sewing machine. No point in asking for trouble. Fabri-Tac is rather thick and rather sticky, so the machine does not necessarily care much for it. This is my front cover, so I'm going to make extra sure to smooth this out so we don't get globs on the front. I may go ahead later and put something on the front, some sort of embellishment. I don't know yet. But once again, being me, it is the 7th of March, and my journal's not done yet. I'm getting there, though, you guys. I did a lot of journaling in February. I know I keep promising you a flip, and I haven't done it yet, but I will. Did not get every day done, but I think I got at least a note or something on every day, so that's good. Making progress. I'm getting back to my journaling. Okay, let's just wipe off this mess on the edge and put our cover piece down. I've had this fabric in my stash for so long, and I love the greens and the blues, and I thought, you know what? We've been doing so many winter colors for so long. Let's pretend like spring is really going to come. Yeah, let's do that. Spring has to come sometime, right? Now I can kind of stretch that out with my hands. Get it going to the edges. I'm checking. Looks like it might have seeped through a little bit right there, but nothing terrible. Oop, that's not going to help my tacky glue come out. Okay, that looks good. Let's just go up here and give the fabric a little trim. Get that evened up a little bit. I don't mind if it's not exactly the same. I like how it looks frayed and I'm not kind of funky that way. That makes me happy. It works for me. Get these little bits out of the way. Now I'm going to set this aside and let it dry for a bit before we stick it through that machine. Okay, so let's work on our pages. Put our Fabri-Tac away. I've got some pages that I pulled. The kit that I'm using for this is a digi-kit that's available in my Etsy shop called Creepy Clover. It's super cute for St. Patrick's Day. It's got collage pages and embellishments and envelopes and tags. It's got the creepy and the non-creepy version, and I will link that down below in the description. The little creepy zombie folks were provided by Judy at Locker 61. Judy will also be down below in the description. And I've got, well, you probably have already seen all these papers. This is the kit. But I've also got some dyed paper from Amy at Darkwood Sanctuary. And Amy will be linked down below as well. I did a shop share a day or so ago with Amy's stuff, and I'll make sure to link that down below. So definitely go take a peek because she dyes beautiful papers. So I do have some things picked out, I think, for my journal. I was looking. I want to use some of Amy's beautiful papers, and I picked out some of the pages from the kit that I really like. Love these. A successful St. Patrick's Day party. This is my favorite one, I think. I think I wanted to use this one, but I wanted to use the creepy version. It's very light. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a ledger in the background. I'm really fond of this one. I think there's the creepy version somewhere. Did I print it out? When you're making a digital kit, it gets crazy with all of the prints and reprints that you do. Well, that's frustrating. Guess we could use this one. I printed this one on a different printer, so I had to cut the borders off. So it's a little smaller. That's just fine. It will work out just fine. And then we've got our fun little creepy girl in the middle. And which other one should we use? Maybe this one. I love the colors. And this is a fabric texture. It just is so touchable. I love it. So let's go ahead and fold these up want to use all the papers. How to decide. How to decide. So let's see, March has 31 days. So if I do 8 pages in the journal, that will be 32 pages, which is perfect. Because one will be for the March title page, and then I'll have 31 pages for journaling. How am I going to pick only 8 pages? That's hard. There's that one. And I'm just folding these in half, and they're going to fit in that envelope, or the covered envelope. Amazon packaging, there we go, just perfectly. I couldn't believe how lucky I was that these were the colors that Amy had dyed, because they went with the kit so beautifully. Very exciting. Okay, so that's 5 already. Oh dear. Oh dear. And then I did want to put an envelope in, so I snagged an envelope. There's 6. There's 7. This is a grocery bag that I cut up. And I just like journaling on grocery bag. I love the texture and everything. Oh, how are we going to decide? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is 7. Well, I wanted to put an envelope in for sure, but I don't think I'll count it as a page. So here's our envelope. This is from the kit. I haven't closed it up yet. I lined it only because this was a misprint, so I'm using it in my own journal. So we'll do that. And then, should we have another grocery bag page? I just have a pile of pages over there that I was looking at, so maybe we'll do that. That will be cool. Okay, let's just put these in order. Figure out what we want. Got those, we got those. My brain is scattered. Shockaroo, huh? I think I would like to have this as my first page. I printed this on presentation paper, so it's a little heavier. And then we can go ahead and put in one of Amy's beautiful pages. And the pages are all different sizes, and I don't mind. Oh, but the grocery bag is much different. Let's make sure it's going to fit in our cover. Yep, it will. So that will be fine. There's that. And then we'll do the first envelope, which I think I'll put in this direction. Oh, that needs to be in the middle, so. Yep, that'll work. So that'll be in the middle of this signature. It'll get stitched in, and then I'll seal it closed after it's stitched. So that will work perfectly. Signature number 1. And then maybe for the second signature, I think I'll start it with the brown paper bag this time. And then a digi. And then a junk mail envelope. Little spare piece. One of Amy's beautiful pages. I'm holding that where you can't see it. I'm sorry. I'll sort of stagger those a little bit. And then we'll put our creepy little girl in the middle so that when the page is open, you can see all of her. I like that. Now, Easter also falls in March this year, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. Too much going on in one month. So when I get back to the Easter part of the, excuse me for reaching, I've got some bigger clips up there. When we get to the Easter part of the month, if I need to cover a page that looks St. Patrick's Day, well, so be it. That will be an easy fix. So we've got our 2 pages, or our 2 signatures rather. I'm going to have to wait to clip this one also. Oh, actually, you know what we can do? Here's a little trick for you. If you have something that's a lot smaller than your other stuff, go ahead and use washi tape to hold it down while you're stitching it in. That'll hold it in place. But you can take the washi tape off when you're done, and that way it won't shift. But first you have to find the edge of your washi tape. There we go. Wow. So I'll just tape that right in the center of our little cut up grocery bag. That'll work perfectly. There. Center those the way I want them. Kind of scooting them up and down so they're staggered. There, I like that very much. Grab my ruler, make sure everything's all pushed down in the center. And then we can go ahead and clip this one too. Alright, so those are clipped. Those are ready to go. That's the first one, that's our second one. Look at us. We're awesome. Okay, so going back to our cover. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is dry enough to stitch, I think. So I can't get my sewing machine to where you can see me sew. So I'll just do that and I'll be right back. Don't go away. And I'm back. And boy, am I glad this is for me, this particular journal, because I think that the, can you guys see the stitching? It's all done. But I think that the tension was wrong, my bobbin was wrapped wrong, and my sewing machine got pretty crabby. Can you see up here, like it got all tangled up and was doing strange things on the back? So yeah, happy news that this is for me because, well, I don't mind that it got a little jacked up. It's just fine, and I love this cover. I love this fabric, it makes me happy. So now, here comes the sewing in part. While I was sewing, I was thinking, wait a minute, one of those signatures feels a lot thinner than the other. Yeah, so I rearranged the pages. I don't know what I was thinking. And I also decided to have the brown grocery bag on the cover of each signature. So here are our signatures, slightly rearranged. And well, we start with the first one. Let's start with the back one, for no particular reason. Just because. You guys won't believe what I did. I started binding in our signatures, and I didn't turn the camera back on. So we're gonna just go ahead and do this again. If you notice any stray holes in my journal, that's why. Just ignore them. So I've just cut a scrap of paper that is as tall as my journal cover. And it's, I don't know, maybe 2 inches wide. It doesn't really matter. Fold it in half lengthways. And this is just to make a little template. I'm not terribly concerned. It's just to get the stitches kind of straight on the outside. Fold it in to meet each other roughly in thirds. That's not even close to thirds, FYI. And where did I put my pencil? I bet I have another one. Yes, I do. So we'll put a hole right there. We'll put a hole right there. And we'll put a hole right there for a nice 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to take our cover, make sure that we have the front on the front. Yep, I wanted this messy little corner to be the back right-hand side. So that's the front. Oh, I forgot to make a T on our template. Shame on me. Always mark the top of your template because it does make a difference. And this is our first signature. What I did was I covered up the holes that I made when I wasn't recording. I just covered them up with some washi tape. Let's make sure we're in the right orientation. We are. Push that spine in. Make sure it's snug up against the cover. Put it where you want it. I'm going to clip our signature right to the cover. Now this cover obviously has no spine whatsoever. I've never done this, so I don't know how it's going to work out. But we'll just go ahead and try it, won't we? Take our template, pop it right in there. Line up the top and the bottom. Push it in. And I'm going to use my pokey tool. This is only going to get dicey when I'm trying to figure out which holes to use, since I already made some. But we can figure it out. Disregard that part. That's only because I did it before. And I think that's too low. I'm going to go ahead and make my hole up here. You can certainly adjust it should you care to. I'm going to make the bottom one down here. Make sure I'm getting all the way through. Oh, I forgot to put my pokey mat down. Belatedly, we'll do that. Okay, so we've got all those poked. Perfect. And I'm going to grab my waxed linen cord. This is what this is. I like it a lot for binding. Did that shift? It looks like it did. Nope, I guess it's okay. Alright, and I'm going to start in the middle. Come up through our cover, see if we can find that hole. Tricky. If you can't find it, what you can do is, I know I'm through all the papers, and I'm just peeking at the fabric, trying to find that right place to come through. There we go. Found the hole. Pull this through. I started on the inside because I want my tails to be on the inside. If you want your tails on the outside, you start on the outside. We'll go down here and poke through our bottom hole. It's a little tricky getting through the cover because it's awfully thick. All those layers that we put in. It'll happen. And then through the holes in our signature, just like that. Pull it taut. Go up to the top. And go through the hole we just made. Find the hole in the fabric. With all those polka dots, it's easier said than done. There we go. Not too bad at all. Pull that through. Make sure we're still staying nice and taut. That washi tape is coming up. And I put glue stick on it. Grr. I will repair that in a moment. Go ahead and pull that. And then we're going to go back through that center hole one more time. There we go. Down through there. Through that same hole. Come up through the fabric. And come up through our center hole again. Just like that. When you're coming up through that center hole, make sure you're not piercing any of your other threads. I've got a pair of flat nose pliers here just to pull that through all those thicknesses. Quite handy to have. And now what I want to do is make sure that this thread that we just pulled up is on the other side of our long stitch. Okay? So we have one tail on this side and one tail on this side. And now I can pull that, get it nice and taut. Don't want to tear the paper. Just want to make sure we're going to have a good, snug fit in there. Put my needle back on the felt so it doesn't go on walkabout somewhere on my desk or on the floor, worse yet. Feels pretty good. Let's make sure it's not wiggly. I do not like a wiggly signature. Nope, that's in there. Nice and tight. So we can tie that off. We'll do a square knot. Was that right over left? And then left over right. Pull it nice and tight. And I'm just going to leave those strings for right now because I might want to put dangles on them. I am going to hit this with the glue stick though because it's making me crazy. Even Tim Holtz washi tape doesn't always stick. Disappointing. Tim. There, that way I won't forget and it'll quit flapping around. Perfect. And I'm not concerned that I have an extra hole right there. Again, since it's for me, it's just fine. And I know that we have a lot of new friends that have not watched a journal get bound. So that is looking good. Now I'll go ahead and put in the other one. And let's see, I was going to make that one be the front signature. I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? Nah. This one will be our front signature instead. So we will take this signature that we made earlier and line it up in there as well. Keeping it nice and folded. I'm going to clip it to our cover. Clip it to our cover in the back. Make sure it's pressed right up against that spine. grab our template, poke it right back in there where it was, and let's make our holes. Now I have to remember I didn't use the top hole. I made a new one because I thought it was too low. So I have to use that one if I want the stitches to be even on the outside. Let's get that where it goes, shall we? And I'm just kind of using a twisting motion to get through all those thicknesses in the cover. And again with the middle hole. And then with our last hole. Terrific. I'm going to go and thread my needle again. I'll be right back. You guys don't want to watch that. Well, that wasn't bad at all. It hardly would have made you cry. Okay, I'm going to start in the center again, down through that hole, up through the cover, pull that through, leave a little bit of a tail, and go down to the bottom, and it looks like I was off a little bit, but that is okay. If I don't like how the stitches look on the outside, I can certainly cover it up with lace or trim or a piece of fabric or whatever. But I don't think it'll bother me one bit. Cut through the fabric. It doesn't want to go all the way through the fabric. Again, that is a lot of layers. There, I think that time you can kind of feel it snap through the plastic. I guess it's not plastic, I guess it's foam, whatever they use to make the bag padded. Pull that through. A little tough to get through, a little bit. Then go up to the top, go down through that hole. Sitting funny. There we go. Down through that top hole, through the hole in our cover, pull that nice and taut. We'll go through that one more time. So those signatures are about 1/8 of an inch apart, and that will be just fine. That will give me room to stuff it as I do with my journals. Getting back to that center hole again. Trying to get so I can see where everything is. Not through the fabric yet. Oop, and then I drop the needle. There we go. And you want to make sure, again, not to split any of that thread. I use a real blunt needle to prevent that. That's why it's kind of hard to get through all these layers, because my needle is not sharp, but that's a good thing. Slip that underneath so there's one tail on either side of that long stitch. Pull it taut both ways. Go ahead and put my needle away. Get these giant clips off there. And it feels like it's still got a little play in it. Let's turn it over and check it on the back. Yep, feels nice and tight. So we can tie our square knot. Guess that was leftover right. I started backwards. What the heck? Still a square knot, I think. Because it's wax, it'll hold that knot real well. And again, I think I'll cut off just a little bit of this and leave that string, those two strings, dangling so I can tie something on them if I want to. If they annoy me, I can just nip them off. So there it is. I'm so excited. Finally, I can start journaling. Go ahead and start training this to lie down. I do want to glue up my envelope so I don't forget. Oh, look at those together, you guys. They're so beautiful. Oh, I think our envelope ended up in the second signature, didn't it? Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and go back there. I can do my bone folding when you guys aren't here. I do like to go through, though, and get those good and smoothed out. I say it all the time. I know every time I make a journal, I'm like, wow, that is so cool. Okay, so we can take off this washi tape. Of course, this washi tape wants to stick. We didn't want it to. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's great. The washi tape that we didn't want to have stick stuck. The washi tape that was supposed to stick did not. Perfect. Not really. But that's okay. I can just cover it with something. I don't think I'll lose any sleep. Nope. And now that I have thought about it, that is super annoying, you guys. Look at that. It totally stuck, ripped off a layer of the paper. Well then, live and learn. Okay, that's kind of cool though. I love that. When I peeled the washi tape off, it just peeled the typewriting off. Can you see that? It looks super cool. So that's a technique for a different day. So I will cover that and it will be just fine. And let's see if the tacky glue is working. It's been standing on its head for a while. So I just want to put, let's see, just a little bit. Nope, it doesn't want to come out. All right, art glitter glue it is. Darn you, tacky glue. I have you. I'm going to use you. We're going to have a chat. Okay, so I've got my art glitter glue. And I'm just going to go right down that edge. And right down that edge. Again, this was a misprint. That's why there's white there. But it's on the inside, so it doesn't matter to me one little bit. We can glue that down so our envelope is closed. Put some glue right there. Try to keep that washi tape down. And I made a little booklet out of the card that comes with the kit. It's 2 journaling cards right next to each other. So I just cut them out as one piece, folded it and inked it, and I sewed in some little scraps that I had. I didn't put anything on the back of the paper because I figure when I get there I can decorate it or put a photo or whatever. And these are just scraps that were in my scrap bucket. So I made a little notebook that also has some dangle thread, and I stitched it in just like I did our signature. This is going to be a little fussy because of the signature being right there, but we'll get it in. There we go. Maybe. Maybe we will. There we go. Might need just a little bit of trimming. And then I'll put something on there that will hold the envelope closed. The other option is, oh, you know what makes more sense? Duh. Silly me. Okay, first of all, I'm going to cut these off. Decision made. I'm going to seal the envelope on this side. That will cover some of the terrible washi disaster. Okay, it was so not a disaster. Not a disaster. We'll glue that closed. Boom. Just like that. And then I'll take my scissors on this side, and we will just cut a sliver off right here. There we go. Pocket or envelope is reopened, and our happy little booklet will slide in there much more easily, I think. Now, I'm definitely going to need to trim that down a little bit. All right, so we'll leave it there. The knot is kind of big, and I don't know why, so I'll just trim a little bit from right there, and it'll fit right in. And I will be ready to go in my March journal. I'm super excited, you guys. Look at all these beautiful colors. Fun. So there we go. Will she finish it? Will she make this a big chunky monkey? That is the question. I'll have to come back to find out. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you're doing something fun, something creative. If you guys do a daily journal, let me know down below. Or do you keep specific journals for specific things, or just when you feel like it? I'm interested. Let me know. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I will talk to you again real soon. Bye.